Hello everyone, today I will discuss about the classification of electrical machines and also give the brief explanation of transformers. So let's start the classification of electrical machine. Electrical machine is classified into two categories. First one is static electrical machine and second one dynamic electrical machine. All type transformer is best example of static electrical machine, and all type rotational or motional machine is known as dynamic electrical machine. Dynamic electrical machine is further classified into two main categories. First one angular rotational machine and second one linear motion machine. The best example of linear motion machine is linear induction motor. The best use of linear induction motor is in bullet train and automatic transportation belt, which is used in industry. Again, angular rotational machine further classified into two parts. First one commutator machine and second one commutatorless machine. Commutator machines are those machines which have commutator arrangement. The best example of commutator machines is all type DC machines, either series motor or compound machine. Further, DC machines are classified in three broad categories: separately excited DC machine, bound field DC machine, and permanent magnet field DC machine. Bound field machine is also known as self-excited DC machines. Self-excited DC machine further classified in three main categories: series machine, shunt machine, and compound machine. Compound machine further classified in two categories. First one cumulative compound machine and second one differential compound machine. It can be further classified in two parts: long shunt and short shunt differential machine. Similarly, long shunt and short shunt cumulative compound machine. In other hand, commutatorless machine, induction machine, synchronous machine, doubly silent, and variable reluctance permanent magnet machine. Those machines which have no commutator arrangement, such type machines are called commutatorless machine. So, induction machines are also further classified in two categories: rotor bound induction machine and cage rotor induction machine, generally known as squirrel cage induction motor. And synchronous motor further classified in three parts: rotor bound, permanent magnet rotor, and reluctance rotor. Permanent magnet rotor further classified in two parts: permanent magnet brushless AC current and permanent magnet brushless DC current. Doubly silent machine further classified in two parts: switch reluctance motor and stator permanent magnet motor. Stator permanent magnet motor again classified in four categories. First one doubly silent permanent magnet, and second one flux reversing permanent magnet doubly silent stator motor, and third one flux switching permanent doubly silent stator machine, and last one flux concentrating type permanent magnet doubly silent machine, and last one is variable reluctance permanent magnet machine. They are further classified in two categories: Vernier permanent magnet and TF permanent magnet machine. Machines which are included by green colors is known as DC machines, and machines which are included by red colors is known as AC machine, and machines which are enclosed by blue colors, that is known as a special electrical machine.
Electrical transformer is a static device which consists of two or more electric stationary circuits interlinked by a common magnetic circuit for the purpose of transferring electric energy from primary winding to secondary winding. The basic principle behind the transformer action is Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. According to Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, induced EMF E is equal to N d phi by dt, where N is the number of turns of binding and d phi by dt is the rate of change of common linkage flux. This is the basic diagram of transformer. This one is a primary winding and this is the secondary winding of the transformer. Winding which is excited by the electrical source, such type windings are called primary winding. Rest windings are called secondary winding or tertiary winding and so on. In this transformer, two windings are shown. One is primary winding which is excited by AC electrical voltage source, and here the secondary winding induced EMF are induced through the electromagnetic induction. This is a core which provides the common magnetic path for primary winding and secondary winding. This is called mutual flux. IM is called mutual flux which interlink the both windings. Few flux is not interlinked primary as well as secondary winding. Such type flux is known as leakage flux. When number of turns in primary winding is greater than number of turns in secondary winding, such type transformers called step down transformer. When number of turns in primary winding is less than number of turns in secondary winding, such type transformer is known as step up transformer. When primary winding is excited by the AC electrical voltage source, then magnetic flux is set up in primary winding which interlink the secondary winding, but some flux is not interlinked the secondary winding. Such type flux is known as primary winding leakage flux. Same thing happening with secondary winding. When load is connected across the secondary winding, due to flow of current, a magnetic flux setup which not interlinked primary winding, such type flux are called secondary winding leakage flux. Due to these leakage flux, primary leakage reactance and secondary leakage reactance are exist in the equivalent circuit of transformer. Here current is passing through the primary winding and flux is going to from primary winding to secondary winding, interlink the secondary winding. Now some important points related to transformer. EMF per turn primary winding equal to EMF per turn in secondary winding. Bell equation of V1 upon V2 is equal to N1 upon N2. Again modify this equation, V1 upon N1 equal to V2 upon N2. This one is EMF per turn primary winding and this one is EMF per turn secondary, and both are equal. Per unit value in primary side equal to per unit value of secondary side in transformer. Per unit value is very important concept which is mostly used in power system engineering. Primary side volt ampere equal to secondary side volt ampere. When transformer is ideal, then input power is equal to output power. That means primary power is exactly equal to output secondary winding power. Instantaneous power on both sides is equal. Concept of ideal transformer. There is no loss occur in ideal transformer. That means in ideal transformer there is no magnetic leakage, reactance or resistance in primary as well as secondary winding. So there is no chance of losses occurred in ideal transformer. Output power exactly equal to input power. When transformer is ideal, as we have already told, there is no magnetic leakage reactance or magnetizing reactance or no lump resistance either primary side or secondary side. So there is no chance of power loss. So whatever energy is supplied at primary winding, total energy is received at the secondary winding without loss of energy. The transformer core has infinite permeability. Infinite permeability implies that there is no magnetizing current is required for establishing magnetic flux in the core. That means flux is established in the core without any magnetizing current. There is lump resistance in primary binding as well as secondary binding is absent. That means any conductor having some resistance. In case of ideal conductor, there is no resistance. So, in ideal transformer, conductors are ideal. Ideal means there is no resistance. So, if there is no resistance, then I square R loss is absent. That means copper loss is 0 in case of ideal transformer. And there is magnetic leakage flux in each binding is absent. Because of permeability of transformer core has infinite. Permeability of transformer core is infinite. That means there is no magnetizing current required for establishing magnetic flux in the core. So there is no magnetic leakage flux. Total magnetic flux created by the primary binding interlink the secondary binding. Because of permeability of core is infinite. The core loss considered to be 0. Core is also ideal. There is no hysteresis loop and eddy current loss provision. That's why total core loss is 0. Core loss is also called iron loss or fixed loss of the transformer. That it depends on operating frequency as well as operating voltage. Both quantity, operating voltage as well as frequency, is constant nationwide for all country or operating zone. So this is a constant. That's why core loss also known as fixed loss or constant loss. Type of transformer. According to construction point of view, there is two type transformer: core type and shell type. In core type transformer, there is series magnetic circuit. Series magnetic circuit means a common magnetic circuit which links the both binding, primary as well as secondary binding. In core type transformer, there is two limbs. In case of single phase transformer, primary binding is bounded on the limb 1 and secondary binding is bounded on the limb 2. And this is called yoke and yoke. In this way, two limbs and two yoke. And in shell type transformer, there is three limbs: 1, 2 and 3. Central limbs are thicker than the outer limbs. Central limbs thicker cross section area compared to outer limbs, because of outer limbs share the half of flux of total flux. In this arrangement, there is more than one path is available for traveling magnetic flux. So, shell type transformer provide parallel magnetic circuit. In other hand, core type transformer provides the series magnetic circuit. Now, comparison of core type and shell type transformer. In core type transformer, as we have already told, there is a series magnetic circuit. And in case of shell type transformer provides parallel magnetic circuit arrangement. Now look the basic diagram of core type transformer. This is a basic diagram of core type transformer. This is a mutual flux. They have only one path to linking the primary binding as well as secondary binding. So this is a series magnetic circuit. In other hand, shell type transformer parallel magnetic circuit is available. Look the diagram. This is main flux phi m, and this is also part of phi m, which is half of the phi m. So main flux have two paths for traveling from the outer limb So this arrangement is provide the parallel magnetic circuit. Now next point is, in core type transformer, 2 limb and 2 yoke is present. This one limb and this one is yoke, and this one is also yoke, and this is limb. So in this way, in core type transformer has 2 limb and 2 yoke. Now in case of shell type transformer has 3 limb and 2 yoke, limb 1, limb 2 and limb 3, and this one is yoke 1 and this one is yoke 2. So in this way, shell type transformer there is 3 limb and 2 yoke machine. Next point, core type transformer is suitable for low flux density. In other hand, shell type transformer is suitable for high flux density because of it is able to carry high magnetic flux density. In other hand, in case of core type transformer, required less amount of insulation, and in shell type transformer required more amount of insulation. So shell type transformer is suitable for low power application, and core type transformer is suitable for high power application because insulation is main concern during the design of transformer. So all power transformer are designed core type, and all electronics usage transformer is shell type, like a radio, television. So core type transformer is suitable for high power application as we already discussed, and in shell type transformer it is suitable for low power application like electronics equipment, small equipment, nearly 2 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt. Shell type transformer are designed the domestic purpose inverter circuit. Now the core type transformer are required more copper. In other hand, shell type transformer required less amount of copper. Now equivalent circuit diagram of transformer. As we have already discussed about the transformer have two winding, primary winding as well as secondary winding. So there is no conductors are available which have zero resistance, and in this way there is a lump resistance connected in primary winding and similar things happening with the secondary winding. So let us start the draw equivalent circuit diagram of transformer. So this is the resistance, this is leakage equivalent reactance, and this is shunt branch which is represent the equivalent loss equivalent resistance denoted by R0, and this is a magnetizing current equivalent reactance of the core. This is denoted by R0 and this is denoted by JXM or X0, and this one JX1 and this is R1, and this is a representation of core, and this is a secondary winding. Similar to primary winding, secondary winding has also some resistance and some leakage reactance. This one is EMF induced in primary side, and this is a dot convention. N1 number of turns in primary winding, N2 number of turns in secondary winding. The ratio of primary to secondary is N1 ratio N2, and this resistance is similarly R2, and this is JX2, and the primary, this is a voltage whatever applied in primary winding terminal, this is known as primary winding terminal voltage, and here whatever voltage is available at the terminal of secondary winding, which is V2, is known as secondary winding voltage. This is induced EMF across the secondary winding. Now the magnitude of voltage V1 is greater than E1 and magnitude of E2 is greater than V2 because there are some losses are occurred between V1 to V2. Let us consider I1 current is taken from the primary binding terminal and this current is passing through I0 and IW and IM. This is a magnetizing current and this is a core loss equivalent current. This one is known as no load current and rest current is known I1 dash. This is a secondary equivalent current which passes through the secondary binding I2. Now this diagram is converted in the rich text. This one is a clear diagram of equivalent circuit of transformer. R1 is the lumped resistance of primary binding and JX1 is leakage reactance of secondary binding. R0 is loss equivalent resistance of core. What is loss equivalent resistance? Suppose we have applied 10 volt at the primary terminal and the energy passes through wattmeter. Wattmeter reads 100 watt by keeping secondary binding open circuited. Then P is equal to V square upon R0. This is a reading of wattmeter. This is applied voltage at primary side. Now put the value 10 upon 100 is equal to R0. So R0 value is 1. This is equivalent resistance of core loss component. Same thing, JXM is magnetizing reactance of transformer and R2 is lumped resistance of the secondary binding and JX2 is leakage reactance of secondary binding and V1 and V2 is the terminal voltage of the primary and secondary binding respectively. Similarly, E1 and E2 is the induced terminal voltage of the primary and secondary binding. Now convert it into word text. R1 is the lump resistance of the primary binding and JX2 is the leakage reactance of the primary binding and R0 is the core loss equivalent resistance and XM is the magnetizing reactance and R2 is the lump resistance of the secondary binding and JX2 is the leakage reactance of the secondary binding. V1 and V2 are terminal voltage of primary and secondary binding voltage respectively. Similarly, E1 and E2 are the induced voltage of primary and secondary binding voltage respectively. Now, phasor diagram of transformer. They have two conditions, at no load, at full load. This is the phasor diagram of no load. In no load condition, the output of secondary binding is not connected through the load. So, the I2 current which is passing the secondary binding is 0. So, whatever current take from the source, that only passes through the primary binding, and current I1 is not going to this because I2 is 0. So I2 dash is 0. I2 dash is 0 and I0 is passing through the core equivalent circuit. That is nothing but shunt parameter of the transformer. This is I0 and this is IW and this is IM. So when V1 voltage is applied at the primary side, this voltage is rated voltage. V1 voltage is rated voltage of the transformer. Then I0 current is draw, that is known as no load current of the transformer. This current is about 2% to 5% of full load current. And break the no load current in two components, IM, that is magnetizing current, and IW is known as iron loss equivalent current. Iron loss equivalent current. Now go to next. This is a diagram of full load. This is phasor diagram of full load transformer. When primary winding is excited by V1 supply voltage, then I1 current is passing, and at this junction I1 break in two parts, I0 and I2 dash. I2 dash is equivalent to secondary winding current. So I2 dash is here and I0 is here. This is what I0, not IA, and I0 and I2 dash is summation of these two current is getting I1. So here vector sum is I1, and further I0 is break in two components, I mu and IW. This one I mu and IW, and summation of this current I mu and IW is I0. That one is here, and R1 is resistance. This is a resistance. Then whatever current passing through this resistance, some potential drop I1 R1 is dropped here. So phasor of I1. So I1 R1 is parallel with I1. And next X1. Then X1 is perpendicular to the I1 R1. So this and the summation of this voltage is V1. Whatever applied primary rated voltage. And same thing are repeated in case of secondary side. E1 is induced EMF at the terminal of secondary winding, and R2 is the lump resistance of the secondary winding, and X2 is the leakage reactance of the secondary winding. So I2 is passing through these two components. Here we can consider the component, resistive component and inductive component. So I2 and R2 is in the direction of I2. So this is I2 current, and this one is parallel to I2. And after that, this current is passing through the reactive element, and the drop of across the reactive element is perpendicular drop of I2 R2. So the summation of V2 and the drop of I2 X2 and drop of R2 I2 is equal to E2. So this one represents here. And the difference between now losses in the transformer. There are two type losses in the transformer. One is variable loss and one is fixed loss or constant loss. I is depend on load. So load is vary according to need. That's why copper loss is vary with changing the load. So copper loss is known as variable loss. This is a diagram of equivalent circuit of the transformer. This one is load. If load is changed, then I2 will also change. And I2 is equivalent to I2 dash. So I2 dash is part of I1. So here I1 or I2 both are changed by changing the load, and I1 as well as I2 current passing through the own lumped resistance. So I square R loss, I1 square R1 loss here, and I2 square R2 loss here. The summation of both I1 R01. R01 is the total resistance referred in primary side. So next one is fixed loss or iron loss. Iron loss or fixed loss have two components. Iron loss has two parts. First one eddy current loss and second one hysteresis loss. Both losses are depends on frequency and voltage respectively. Eddy current loss depends frequency and voltage. Any system, any gate system, operating frequency are fixed. So this losses is fixed. Otherwise, if you will change the value of applied voltage and operating frequency, then the eddy current loss as well as hysteresis loss change, and so on. Iron loss also will change, but nationwide it will iron loss is fixed loss. So iron loss is summation of eddy current loss and hysteresis loss. As per the formula of eddy current loss, it depends on square of frequency and thickness of the core stamping. Hysteresis loss, first understand the hysteresis loop. This is magnetic flux density and this one is the magnetizing force. When any magnetic material placed under the influence of magnetic flux or magnetic field, then it will magnetize. When magnetizing force is increased from 0 to positive direction of S, it will follow the path from 0 to A. But when they gradually decrease the magnetizing force, it will not reverse by follow the path A to 0, even though it will follow a path A to B. At the point of B, magnetizing force is 0, but still some magnetic flux is present in the material. This point is known as retentivity of that material. Further, to getting the flux density 0, we have to apply magnetizing force in reverse direction. At point of C, the magnetic flux density of the material is 0, but still present some magnetizing force. So, point of C is known as corrosivity of material. Corrosivity of material is defined as the amount of magnetizing force required to getting flux density 0. Further, magnetizing force increase in opposite direction. It will follow the path C to F. F is the saturation point in opposite direction. Similarly to A is the saturation point in positive direction. So, further gradually decrease the magnetizing force from negative direction. It will follow the path F to E and so on E to D. In this way, on a complete cycle, a bounded area is enclosed by the hysteresis loop. Suppose that this bounded area is equivalent of 1 joule energy. Again, further consider this type material is placed under the influence of alternating magnetic field, whose frequency is 50 Hz. Then 50 cycles complete in 1 second. That means 50 joule per second dissipate through the hysteresis loop. This 50 joule is known as hysteresis loss. According to definition of power, the rate of change of energy per unit time is known as power. Next diagram. Narrow hysteresis loop is desirable for transformer, motor core to minimize the energy dissipation with the alternating field associated with AC electrical applications, and material which have large hysteresis loop. This is desirable for designing the permanent magnet and magnetic recording memory and memory devices. Now, important test of transformer. There are two important tests: open circuit test and short circuit test. In open circuit test, the objective of open circuit test to find out the shunt branch parameter. Shunt branch parameter means the value of R0, which is loss equivalent resistance of the core, and Xm is magnetizing reactance of the core. And third one objective is to find out the core losses, that is summation of hysteresis loss and eddy current loss. And next is short circuit loss. The main objective of short circuit loss to find out the core loss at full load and find out the series parameter, that is R0, that is R1, which is lump resistance of primary winding, and X1, which is leakage reactance of the primary winding. Similarly R2 is the lump resistance of secondary winding, and X2 is the leakage reactance of the secondary winding. So, main objective of the short circuit test to find out the series parameter and copper loss of the transformer at rated current. So, here we point out to find out the total referred equivalent resistance. Actually, transformers are performed testing at a single side, not both sides. Open circuit test is conducted on low voltage side at rated voltage, and secondary secondary terminal, which is high voltage terminal, is open circuited. So there is no current passing through the secondary terminal. Circuit diagram of open circuit test. This is circuit diagram of open circuit test. This is a auto transformer. This is auto transformer. It will control the input supply whatever require the primary winding of transformer which is low. In case of open circuit test performed are conducted at low voltage side, and this one is the wattmeter which is record the power required at no load, that is nothing but it is record the iron loss. This is the equivalent circuit of short circuit test. Short circuit test performed at high voltage side.